What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. A little thunderstruck. Hope everybody had a good Father's Day. How about you? Did you have a good Father's Day there, Ken?
Had a good one. Got to see my daughter. I haven't seen my daughter in 2 weeks. We live in the same town.
Where was she?
I was just doing
hanging
her
out
stuff,
with-
man. Just working and hanging out with her fiance.
Hanging out with fun people,
Yeah.
right? She's like, I want to hang out with you. You don't got anything for me.
Yeah.
Did you get anything? Did you get a hug, something?
Yeah, man. They took me out to dinner, and then we just spent some really good quality time.
That is awesome.
And that's all I want.
You know what? It's funny. That's what dads want. With moms, we're all expected to all right, we got to go to brunch.
Yep.
You got to buy the most expensive stuff. You got to if there's no flowers and balloons, it doesn't count. Mom, with dad, it's like, hey, I just like to hang out with you guys, maybe a barbecue.
That's right.
And that's it. You got to buy the food. Gee, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we went bowling. And I tell you what, Brother Chad, you know, I in my mind, I'm still in my 20s.
Yeah, but your arm says after bowling, I may need to go have a doctor look at this.
That and my left hamstring.
That is so funny. Woo! It is crazy, right?
Yeah.
I always say that, man, because the thing is, you think that's bowling, right? How hard could bowling be?
Bowling. Yeah.
There's no problem. I could bowl.
I had a 12 ball. I mean, it's light as a feather in relative terms with bowling.
And yet,
About
2 hours later, you lost feeling in your arm. You wake up the next day, you're like, I can't move my right leg.
And for what? I don't even think I broke 100 either game.
Oh, bowling's one of those games like so easy, and afterwards, like I wasn't really trying anyways.
Yeah.
By about the third one, you're like, I'm gonna roll it granny style.
Put up the bumpers.
Get out the dinosaur.
Yeah. The dinosaur where you roll it down.
Where you roll it down the thing. Yeah, there you go. I wasn't trying anyway. It's like, okay. Oh, my Lord. So,
how about you, man?
You know what? So Friday night, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Israel and Iran aren't friends.
No.
So to catch up so I do my national show in the morning, and it plays twice, once in the East Coast and on the West Coast. I had to go update everything for the West Coast, basically did a whole new show. Super excited about that. So we were supposed to go, my son's birthday that night. We were supposed to go out, and we couldn't because I ended up working way later, doing videos and the whole 9 yards. So the next day, we did the putt shack for his birthday. Have you ever been there?
No, man, that sounds fun.
So it's like mini golf, but it's not goofy like mini golf. It's fun. It's really neat. So we did that. We played a couple games there. Then we went out to dinner, and then yesterday I woke up and I did nothing. A little bit of work later on, but I sat there and I watched the golf all day.
Ah, there you go, Brother Chad.
Which was awesome. I mean, it's because the USGA and the PGA make it so the U.S. Open always falls on the final on the third Sunday of the month. So dads can sit around watching golf. Smart thing to do.
Yes.
And that was pretty much about it. It was that kind of weekend. The kids got me. I showed you. They got me a Have Gun Will Travel. My wife was at a store the other day. They had a board game, Have Gun Will Travel.
Awesome.
And they bought it for me.
Awesome.
So I'm going to bring it in. It's got the only thing it's missing is one little bullet, which is one of the game pieces.
So does it have little characters?
It's got all the characters and everything.
So you get to be Paladin.
We get to be whoever you want, right? Hey boy, hey girl.
Hey boy, hey girl, Paladin.
It's awesome. It's based on the TV show because that's what they used to do back then. And
awesome.
It was just so cool. I was like, this is it. And it was a nice, quiet weekend outside of the fact that crazy happens.
Yeah. Did you take your son and your brother down to the
We were going to, but I don't know if you're aware of this. Kids don't always do what they're supposed to do. Even this morning, my son texted me at 5. He says, Dad, are you up? I said, Jack, I've been up since 2. He goes, yeah, I'm still working. He was doing his homework because he got...
Uh-oh.
So he got pretty much all A's and B, but he got a C in this one class because, as his mom said, everything was in a journal. The dog spilled stuff all over the journal for real, and his mom's like a big believer in school. Yeah. Now, he passed the class. He got like a 99 on the final.
All right.
But it counted for 70% of his grade, so he only got a C because of the journal. So he's redoing it so he can get like an A or B.
Yeah.
But on Wednesday or Thursday of last week, for whatever reason, it locked him out. And because he's doing everything online, and it locked him out. So he had to catch up. And last night, he did like 5 hours of homework from midnight to like 5.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's a hard-working kid.
It is. I was like, oh, geez, dude, that sucks. No, I think he just wants to make sure his mom's not mad at him. It's pretty much the whole.
He wants to make sure he's free to do what he wants this summer.
Yeah, he goes, I go, Jack, if you don't pass this and do everything you're supposed to, I'm going to take your bike away. Really? I go, no. I don't care.
But still,
you should probably totally do that.
Yeah.
You should. You should do, like, you're here, they gave you the little computer, you should do it. And it's one of these, kind of like we have to take, except it's not about sexual harassment or like, pronouns.
Right.
It's like one of those things. But it's all engineering stuff. And like, it's really bizarre. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It's the new world, kids. That's how teachers are going to be nowadays.
That would scare me to death.
You think?
My son's math scared me to death, man.
Really?
Yeah, my son is good at it, though. I mean, for some reason, he can look at problems in geometry, and he just understands it. It's like I'm looking at a different language.
I am good with math. Don't ask me about the, as you guys know, we've already talked about it. If I had to write an angry email, it would just be one long run-on sentence. So that's not my jam. That's also not his jam, but he did enough to get a B.
Hey, it's not an F.
No, it's not. That's what I keep saying. It's not an F. That's it. Plus, I have my little brother here. We were going to go down, and then we just thought, you know what? By the time everything's ready, what's the use? It was okay. It didn't look crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't. And most of them across the country were pretty. What you expect?
Yeah. The one in Murfreesboro, they were all peaceful. They were just lined up along. They were lined up along Medical Center Parkway, which, if you know, that's where all the shopping is in Murfreesboro. Shopping, a bunch of new restaurants are coming up, so they got a lot of exposure. I think they made one arrest. Apparently, some guy, apparently pulled a gun out and was threatening some people and counter-protesters, and they took him to jail.
Good.
Saturday. That's every day in Murfreesboro. Don't worry. That's No, you weren't, dude. That was just a regular day in Murfreesboro.
Oh, see, that's it. So was it because of, how many people you think were there?
From what I looked at a bunch of social media posts, the supporters said that they thought there were at least 2,000 out there, which, I guess that's not bad for.
Oh, no. I mean, there was a lot.
For a Saturday.
There's a lot of, in some cities, it was massive. I was talking, I did the Chicks on the Right today. I'm filling in for Mock. Where Daisy said that in her little town, there's about 8 people because there's only about 40 people that live there that show up. There's 8 people, and nobody seemed to. It's like, oh, that's Linda. She's crazy. We don't care what she, But it really depended where you were. L.A. going to be much bigger, obviously. New York, huge. Philadelphia, Chicago, massive.
Yeah.
There were some places that you look out there. It is Republicans. You better pay attention. There's some angry people out there. And there's some people that are frustrated, and they're not all just haters and Trump derangements. They're frustrated with a lot of things. That's why you always have to be on top of it and know what's going on. I didn't watch, and then I didn't, because I didn't. Did you watch any of the parade?
No, man. We just watched. We watched. It started on Friday because it was Friday the 13th, and the times I did watch TV. My wife and I just went through all the Friday the 13th.
Oh, it's phenomenal. That's a solid weekend right there.
Well, we just had it on, yeah.
Well, how far did you get? Did he go to space?
I got to the one where Jason lives.
Okay.
I think that's the one where they thought they had killed him. They pushed him out of a barn, and he landed on some spikes.
Yeah,
but then they looked down there, and he was actually hanging.
They always think it kill him. Yeah. It's not the one with the one that had the girl had magical Tina Peters. She had magical powers.
I don't think it was her. It was. Remember Different Strokes?
Yes.
Arnold's friend.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember
Arnold's
that.
friend was
That's
in
the
it.
one. Wasn't that the one where they had like a camp for kids?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's every Friday the 13th.
Well, no, but this is the one where the kids were all special. They lived there full time.
Yeah, he couldn't speak. He hadn't spoken in words. I mean, in years. Or words.
Yeah, so that was, solid. That's a weekend right there, kids.
Yes, sir.
I watched it. What did I watch this weekend? Anything but crazy news, but it was hard because I have to do other stuff during the week, even the weekend, talking about the nut job in Minnesota, and we'll talk about him a little bit, and obviously what's going on with Iran, and we're going to talk about that. But we watched, we rented a couple movies, but last night we watched Deep Cover.
Deep Cover.
It's on Amazon Prime, and it stars Sean Bean and the oldest son from our Mobland, the Kevin.
Oh, yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, it stars him, and then it stars Dallas Bryce Howard. Whatever.
Oh, yeah, Dallas Bryce Howard.
And Orlando Bloom. And
interesting. That's good cast.
This guy hires, Sean Bean hires these three guys to infiltrate, and gals, to infiltrate. They're improv actors, and they're not very good, to infiltrate into these gangs, and it's hilarious. It is. It's funny. So we watched that. It was just quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet weekend.
Yes, sir.
Outside of the crazy. And I'm glad there was no craziness.
Me too.
Here. I mean, I don't want any. It's just, this is the time of year, and it used to be this way 5, 10, 15 years ago. Politics almost shut down inevitably for the summer, just like school.
Yep.
No bills really getting done. They may do a few things here and there, but it was really quiet. From Memorial Day through Labor Day, you had 1 or 2 weeks where something might happen. The rest of the time, it was just conversations about stuff that will happen. And now it is nonstop.
It is.
It drives
constant.
me. It drives me crazy.
Yep.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, I've got to start turning my phone off on the weekends, man, because I'm constantly getting news alerts, and it's depressing.
It is.
I need a couple of days where there's just nothing.
No, but you know what? You're abreast of it. You don't want to walk in and go, oh, my God, I didn't know somebody shot a couple people.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like you were under a rock. But
right.
It's the 24/7 deluge of insanity that's going on.
Yeah.
Which just, it's quite frankly, it's disturbing. I'm disturbed by the internet, even more so than usual.
Oh, dude, it's a sewer, man.
It is.
It is an absolute sewer.
It is. And, man, we got so much stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about, obviously, Iran and Israel. We're going to talk about the dude who shot and killed 2 people, wounded 2 people, 2 of those people, one dead, one alive, in Minnesota, who are, especially the woman, by all accounts, she seemed to be the one of reason, many people say, in Minnesota. And this guy, I don't know what the hell happened to this cat. I don't. I mean, he is, woo, and the stories around it. But you know what else? I was just telling Belle, the disturbing thing is how long it took for people to go to the internet so they could start tribing themselves up to protect their tribe and blame the other side. It's that to me is like.
It's immediate.
It is. And it's sad. Like the bodies aren't even claimed, right? Like the crime scene is still a crime scene, and people are trying to position themselves so my team wins something. People have died. Somebody did a bad thing. This isn't about blame or guilt. This is about, let's have a conversation about what the hell happened so we can avoid this again. And, the family. But nope, not anymore. Frustrating. Coming up, a lot of stuff to get to today. Not all bad. I watched a little golf this weekend. How about J.J. Spawn, baby? Yes. Ooh, Spawn of the dead. Talk a bit about the win there because it was just awesome. And watching guys. That's why the U.S. Open does what it does. They put it into place like this, Oakmont, where they want to see if the best golfers in the world are going to look foolish, like weekend golfers. And at times they did. Talk about that. Israel, no, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Wish you the best. Have fun with Iran. If you need some weapons, maybe we'll give you some. But no, I don't want to be a part of any of this. I'll talk a bit about that as well. It is the Chad Benson Show. Happy Monday, everybody. Super Talk 99.7. All right, guys, Raycon, best earbuds around. Summer is here. You want to run around, you want to feel good, you get the best earbuds around. Those are Raycons. Absolutely dialed, amazing fit, feel, comfort, second to none, sound quality. Mwah! incredible. Active noise cancellation, fast charging. So today, my charge was almost done. I plugged it in for 20 minutes. Ooh, lo and behold, I got 180 minutes of charge time in that in listening time in that short time. Fantastic. That's why I love Raycons. Besides the fit, the feel, the versatility of these, the colors, all of this stuff is amazing. Right now, save 15%. Get yourself active. Get yourself out there. Get yourself rocking and rolling to tunes. Listen to great podcasts like the Chad Benson Show. And do it with your Raycons, your everyday earbuds. Go now, save 15%, and get a 30-day happiness guarantee. BuyRaycon.com/Chad now. Get you that. BuyRaycon.com/Chad.
Israel says Iran is attacking again. Sirens are blaring in Tel Aviv. President Trump asked about the conflict at the G7 summit in Canada and in Minnesota. They're talking about the man accused of shooting 2 state lawmakers. He is going to be in court today. We'll tell you what we've learned so far at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What a nut job.
Yeah, this guy apparently visited other lawmakers' homes.
Yeah. And the mask. Well,
it seems like it.
Yeah, and they said there's a manifesto. Now there are some people say, well, there is no manifesto. And again, this is what see, here's the thing that frustrates me. People want to be first, they don't want to be right. If you're going to do this, and part of that is because these people aren't journalists. They're not worried about being right. They're worried about getting likes and clicks because they're playing to an audience that's already, for the most part, buying what they're selling. So they're going to believe anything. They're not looking, they're not even, it's crazy. And so I don't know. I mean, what's in the manifesto is there. We all know how long it takes to find it. Sometimes they'll release a manifesto soon. Sometimes they won't. Then he got his buddy, by the way, supposedly, in quote, air quotes, buddy. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, he's a mess.
He is. He's like, I don't want to talk about it, but here, my name's Tim, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He would just be out there just regurgitating crap. I don't feel like talking about it. Now, what was your question again?
Exactly.
So can I answer it in full? Would you like to see my phone? Would you like to come in? I mean, he is nonstop. Like, he texted me today and said he did some bad things and now he regrets it and thinks he's made some bad choices, but I don't really want to talk about it. But I think he's, he just was all weekend.
He loves it.
Yeah, of course.
He loves the attention.
Most exciting thing that's ever happened in his life. The most exciting thing that has ever happened to this guy in his life. There's no doubt in my mind. He's got a smile on his face. He's like, oh, my God, this is great. Right? Like, I'm loving life because I've got, like you said, attention. Delivered it right to him. And he's just, blah, 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 blah. Like,
yeah.
What is up? So the guy lived, he had a wife and a kid, but then he lived at this weird halfway house kind of thing with his buddies. To do what? For several months? You only live, 50 minutes away from work? How long does it take you get to work? 50 minutes? 45?
Right around 50 to an hour.
Well, according to this guy, you should be living at a halfway house with some other wackadoos.
Let's meet you and Bill. Find us a place right across the road here.
I mean, it's and the weird thing, too, is they only charge him with second-degree murder. That I found weird. Now, that is, my assumption is they're going to have federal charges.
Yes.
That's got to be. But as of now, and they gave him bond. Well, they're saying no. It was kind of like it's like second-degree murder, like not with no premeditation. Dude, you walking by and you found a mask that looked like Michael and you cut its hair had fallen out and you had a police uniform and you decide to go. That was not you took all that stuff there. Totally premeditated. So I have a feeling it's because they're going to go after him on federal charges. Which is better. And then the other thing is his wife gets pulled over, right, on Saturday, I think?
Yeah.
She's got cash.
Yesterday.
Passports. Like a gun in the car. All weird. All of it's weird.
Cash and passports.
Yeah. If you were a drug dealer.
After your husband has been the subject of a nationwide manhunt.
And he was in somebody's backyard. My goodness me. And why? And people are like, how did the cops get there so fast? Well, they had a shootout with this guy. They're like, I have no idea. Like, all of it's weird. He's an odd bird. Just the whole thing is, it's odd. It's odd. And we're not going to know the truth. Here's the thing. Whatever you think or whatever you want to think, you're going to just think that. So it doesn't matter. That's
right.
It. Nobody's changing anybody's mind. None of that stuff. Whatever you want it to be, it'll be. And that's it. Just that's the new world I've come to realize. Whatever you think it is, you're happy with that.
That's me on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's it. No. Yeah, the guy with it was Al Cowlings. That's an odd thing. They were living some guy named Cato. Man Cato. So, so it's nuts. The whole thing is nuts, I say. All right, coming up. Some good stuff. Talk a little bit about Israel. I want no part of this. I don't know about you guys, and I know Chris said he didn't either, and a lot of people got upset with him. Good reason to not want any part of this. And it is just, this whole thing at this point in time is a powder keg, and we've done enough there, okay? Both damage and mostly damage with a little bit of good. It's time for us to let somebody else do whatever it is that they're going to do. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Israel says Iran is attacking again. Sirens blaring in Tel Aviv. Meanwhile, listen as this Iranian state TV newscast is interrupted by an Israeli strike. Now, the anchor leaves the camera shot, and there is some dust and it seems some debris there in the newsroom. President Trump, meanwhile, at the G7 summit in Canada, meeting with world leaders. He was asked about the conflict.
Despite weekend talks getting canceled, President Trump said Monday he believes Iran is open to engagement with the U.S. on a nuclear agreement.
They have to make a deal, and It's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war. And they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
The president told ABC Sunday it's possible the U.S. could get involved in Israel's fight against Iran. Asked today what it would take for that to happen, he said,
I don't want to talk about that.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Right now in Minnesota,
we intend to seek first-degree murder charges here. The penalty for that would be life without parole. So we intend to go forward on this case because we are accountable to protect our community and hold people who commit crimes in this county accountable.
Yeah, the man accused of shooting two Minnesota state lawmakers in court today. Vance Bolter in federal custody to face federal and state murder and attempted murder charges. A terrible story out of Madison. A mother and her 5 children shot by the woman's boyfriend here in Middle Tennessee, 26-year-old Jovian Smith. Police say the couple got into an argument while the woman was driving the family on Sunday. She pulled to the side of the road. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams picks it up from there.
Investigators saying that she was able to pull over, and that's when police say Smith shot her multiple times. She then ran to a nearby home for help. As this happened, police telling us that Smith turned the gun on that woman's 5 children, shooting them multiple times. One of those children, a 4-year-old girl, died from her injuries.
Smith is in jail on a $2.5 million bond. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, guys, I want to talk to you about my friends over at Contours. You want to feel better, guys and gals? You want to look a little thinner, right? You're sick and tired of fighting that fight. You can eat right. You can exercise, do all your crunches, and you feel like, oh, I can't get rid of these last inches. That's where Contours comes in. Simple and easy. Red light therapy, you go in, and you watch it shrink away. Gone. You're going to live up to 2 inches. So guaranteed 2 inches the first visit, or it's free. Right now, we're running a $99 special. When you go check them out, I use it. My wife uses it. My shirts feel better. My pants feel better. It is so insane and incredible, and it's totally relaxing. Same thing where they got facials for the ladies out there. It is awesome what they do. That red light stuff rejuvenizes the skin, tightens it. You look amazing. Younger, I say. Dare I look? You want to be thinner? You want to look better? Contours will deliver that over and over again. Check them out online, contoursllc.com. But better yet, call them, tell them I sent you. Make an appointment. You are going to be blown away, guys and gals, at how this works, and it is awesome. 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or contoursllc.com to schedule. So I guess Bibi Netanyahu just did did you see the big interview he just did? And he's not ruled out killing Khomeini.
The Ayatollah.
Yeah. He's not ruled out. He may do it. I don't. Look, I get October 7th was awful, but here's the thing. That's it. You're not fixing right now. The reason the Mossad got so deep in there is because not everybody's happy with the Ayatollah. Not everybody's happy with this. You've got a chance here. I don't know how many more sanctions you're going to have. You're going to be able to have, but you have a lot of people out there that want to go to war. I don't want to go to war with Iran. Not that we can't win. What do we get? By the way, what's the win here? Somebody explain to me what the win looks like. Anybody? What, that somehow we magically turn them into a nation that loves Jesus and that is going to be free loving and that is not going to be. No, we're not going to do any of that stuff. They're going to, it's all about democracy and freedoms and women are going to wear, short shorts and go to school and gamble and everybody's going to drink. They had that in the 70s. In the 60s. It used to be like, this is where everybody went, the party. Like Ibiza in Europe. What are we going to get? Anybody? Still waiting. You know what we're going to get? A hornet's nest. Pissing off the rest of the nations around there. We're going to get oil to jump to $120 a barrel. We're going to have the whole world on edge. And for what? Bibi's not very popular at home. And he wasn't pre-October, like October 6th, he wasn't very popular. He had some issues. October 7th? Well, everything changed. And I get that they want to push back, but they somehow seem to think that magically removing this guy as if the next guy is going to be way better. Yes, sir. You want to say something, Bill? Well, if we're to believe our reporting, which you could take that for what it's worth, in March of this year, we came out and said they're not as close as everybody says, and in theory, it doesn't look like they're efforting to get a nuclear weapon. Now, would I want a nuclear weapon? As we've talked about, right? All of us agree here. What's it get you? It gets you a place at the big boys table. It also gets you not invaded. That's a big deal. Maybe we give them all nuclear weapons and just let them stare at each other all day. At this point. Yes, remember they gave them up and we're like, hey, we got your back, guys. Don't worry. We got your back. We'll sign this piece of paper right here. We got your back. If they invade, we're on your team. They're invaded. Well, that was a long time. That was another guy. I didn't sign that. I don't even know who those people are. So I look at this from a human life point of view. No, I don't want our men and women having to defend this. And I look at this also from a Bibi Netanyahu thing. I think he tries to play Trump as much as anybody else. And they do. By the way, go look at this. It's so funny. You've ever watched CIA people talk about who spies on us the most? Israel probably spies on us outside of China more than anybody else. They're always mad when we don't give them all the latest stuff. Like the minute we come up with a new airplane and we debut it, they're like, we want that. We're like, you can't have that. Yes. Multiple times. So, this is a regional thing. If Mexico and us got into a battle today, right, or all of Central America, I don't expect Israel to come over and throw down with us. We'll be all right. You guys want to handle your own, that's great. If you want us to help you shoot down some missiles, that's fine. Do I want any more than that? Nope. I don't want any more money, and I sure in the hell don't want men and women dying for something that is ridiculous. And yes, are they the leadership of Iran is a death cult. There's no doubt about that. As long as they're not the ones dying. But at this point in time, what's the end game? Okay, what do you think what's the best end game in your mind if we had to get involved in this? What does that look like to you?
Well, if we had to get involved with this, are you talking about boots on the ground?
Boots on the ground. We go in there. This is it. We're being, we're dragged into this nightmare.
This is going to take years.
Yeah.
And then there may not ever be any resolve.
Yeah. I mean, we spent 20 years to replace in Afghanistan the Taliban with who? Anybody? The Taliban.
Yep, the Afghan army, I mean, the minute we started pulling out,
yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, that
was fun.
They were there for paychecks.
Yeah.
That's what they were there for. They weren't there for anything else. They were never going to fight their countrymen. That kind of revolution comes when people have had enough.
From within.
Yeah, not because we have forced them to try to stand up for themselves. So what are we going to get? I mean, it's we're going to get trillions of dollars. God knows how many people on both sides killed. And it's going to end up costing us a lot of money, a lot of lives, turmoil. And I bet you when all said and done, we'll be kind of near the same place we are now, which is where we tend to end up in these situations. But you know what? There are people out there that get paid and they make a lot of money blowing crap up and rebuilding it. That's right. They didn't. And by the way, when we're looking for weapons of mass destruction, we're not looking for chemical weapons. All these guys got. We're looking for stuff that'll blow up an entire city. Nuclear, atomic. And yeah, did Saddam at one point probably have some of that stuff? I'm sure he probably did. Why is that? Because we gave it to him. Why? Because he hated Iran. That's why. He was our friend till he became our foe. He'd still be in power if he wouldn't have gone. Crazy usually keeps crazy indoors. It's when crazy leaves. Iran always kept crazy indoors till they went into Kuwait. Then you're like, Libya kept crazy indoors, and then they started bombing stuff, and they took down an airplane, and everything changed. When you keep crazy, because why? Because imagine this. As horrible as it is, these people, imagine being Saddam Hussein or any of these people. Everybody around you, including your kids, are potential killers of you to assume the throne. That's what it is. And you also have to keep crazy in an area, and usually crazy keeps crazy in. The issue with Iran is they talk about blowing up everybody. They talk about killing stuff, but they don't do it themselves. They have the proxy. But here's the thing. With their proxies and their military, they've got 1 million people that are ready to fight, if need be. But if that's what Israel wants to do, we'll help you in the defense, but we're not. I don't want to put boots on the ground. I don't want to watch our young men and women die over this. It's not worth it. Sorry. Right? The end game is what? Well, everybody's like, bomb them to the Stone Age. What's that going to do? What's that going to do to the rest of the neighborhood? Yeah, it's going to look ugly. It is. And I think Trump is 100% right. I think he's pushing back on Bibi. He's like, no, because I think Bibi feels I can do whatever I want. Right now, Trump is basically going to agree with me, even if in public he's not. He's agreeing. In private, he may be yelling at me, but he finds out afterwards. Oh, that'd be so bad if they killed it. Because I just out of sheer pissed offness, I think the reaction would be insane. Yeah.
Well, I wonder what, you wonder what the reaction would be from the Jordans, the Egypts, the Saudi Arabia, because that goes to a whole different level. I mean, right now, I don't know for sure, but I see these countries, they don't like Iran. They don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon either. But I don't see them agreeing with Israel having a green light to assassinate leaders of state, whether they're a Muslim cleric or not.
And think about this, too, because that thought process, like you said, Ken, is think about if you are in Qatar or if you're MBS or any of these other ones, if you think, wow, they can just go snatch the life out of one of their leaders, what could they do to us?
Right.
Which makes, and when you're trying to calm a nation down, that's not a good place to be. It isn't. It isn't. And that area is already a hotbed of insanity. And it has been since October 7th. And it's not going to get any better unless Israel figures out a way to start going, all right, what do we need to do to help rebuild the Palestinians and to truly get, I've talked about it. You've got to bring in everybody else. Well, if you go and kill, if you go and absolutely decide you're going to take out Khomeini, and you go and do that, do you think everybody else is going to be on your side when it comes to trying to get rid of Hamas and settle that place down? I don't think so. Even though, like you said, I mean, look, Saudi Arabia and Iran are no pals whatsoever. They're not friends. They're foes for the most part.
Yeah, and everybody over there hates Iran.
Yeah,
probably as much as they hate Israel.
Yeah. So, but, you know, you look around and you think, so if you go and do this, you're going to galvanize, like you said, you're going to galvanize people that wouldn't normally be together because they feel like, okay, now that was a bridge too far. That was way too much. And now we're going to have to take a stance because the rest of the Islamic world is looking for us to take a stance on Israel, and it's going to cause hell. And I'm no fan of the leaders of Iran, but I will tell you, this is... If you don't have a plan, and this is the same thing that's going on right now with Hamas, what is the plan? Because if the plan is kill every grown man because you think that somehow is going to endear you to everybody over there, well, guess what? Their kids are going to grow up, and Chris and I were talking about this off the air. You know what their kids are going to grow up to be? Haters of Israel. And so all you did was just the circle again. You got to have something bigger than this. But I don't want to be dragged into it, and I have a feeling we might. And if I'm Trump, and I'm sure all of his people are talking back channels to Iran, going, dude, we're doing everything we can. We don't want this to go on any further. Do not attack us. We want no part of this. We told them not to go. We'd like to get a deal done with you. But I think even if they got a deal done, I don't think Bibi would thinks that deal. I think he wants, like you said the other day, Ken, I think they're done after October 7th. They just want to finish it now.
Yeah, they definitely want to finish Hamas, which is fed by Iran.
Yeah. And so you're just going to go invade everybody? You're going to go into... Occupation is a lot harder than attack. So let you guys know that. All right, coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to today. Man, I got some fun stuff. I got some wacky stuff. Take a deep breath. It can't all be just negative, kids. We got to have some good juju today. We got to have it, right? It's a Monday. We got to get ourselves going. We'll talk a little bit about all the other stuff that's going on out there. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. You should talk to my buddies over at Bullwark Capital. They're going to help you when it comes to your investments and your retirement. Simple and easy. They're giving you a little look into what's going on in your retirement. It's called the DOR, Department of Retirement Efficiency, kind of like Doge. So you can be confident in what's happening. What they talk about and what they show you is, and it's called the Know Your Risk Portfolio Review. It's no cost, no obligation. They want to show you, is there any places that maybe you're getting hidden fees that are eating away at your portfolio? Is there uncovered risks? You got some of the things out there that maybe you're risking way too much for what may be the result of not a lot to gain. And they want to show you what they're about. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility with the most upside potential. It is awesome what they do. And you get one retirement. Make it work for you. And Bulwark's going to help you that. Whether you got investments or retirement, get a second set of eyes on it with our friends over at Bulwark. And this is what I want you to do. It's your Know Your Risk Portfolio Review. Call 866-779-RISK. 866-779-RISK, or go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com to sign up for your Know Your Risk Portfolio Review today from our friends at Bullwark Capital. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 25217.
got a full report coming up now that Israel says Iran is attacking again. You'll also hear what the Israeli prime minister says about a possible deal to de-escalate the situation. And the attacks on Minnesota state lawmakers has lawmakers at every level looking over their shoulders today. These stories and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I am fascinated by the person on CNN right now with pink hair. That was rather bizarre. Person had full pink hair and pink lipstick. And it was doing something that had nothing to do with it, like it had to do with budget. They've gone punk rock. Have you seen the video of the couple that decided, hey, let's sit on this chair made of crystal that's called the Van Gogh chair? It is inspired by Van Gogh. It is a priceless work of art. And let's just say the fella sat on it. He's a nutritional overachiever, and it did not withstand his weight, and it collapsed. Just over the sadness of the hilarity of it, knowing that he has no idea he was being filmed by the cameras that are all over, so you don't steal stuff. But this is the world we live in now. So it's not just about stealing. Don't touch anything. And it's a full crystal chair. So he sits right, like his wife and him were taking turns. He broke the chair and hundreds of its glittering crystals. He also appeared to slip and fall, crushing it underneath him.
Goodness.
Oh, my God. This is just spectacular. It's 650 pieces of this entire artwork display, but this is like one of the things to go see. And it looks sturdy. It wasn't. Oh, jeez. What do you do? Like, if it's an accident, what do you do? Like, you're an idiot. You go and you glue yourself to something. You try to throw something on there. Okay, you're at fault for that. You're just somebody who's clumsy, and what do you do to that person? You know, they feel horrible. I'm sure. I mean, nothing's better. Do you remember the little, was it in Spain or Italy, when that lady went and tried to retouch up the painting of Jesus?
Oh.
Did you guys ever see that? Greatest thing. Dude, Ken, you will laugh harder than you've ever seen. She tried really hard. She was some like 90-year-old lady lived in the village. She thought she would touch it up. It was spectacular. It was the greatest thing. Like the bad taxidermy, it was that. It went from like a picture of Jesus to, is that a lion? Is that like a lion from The Wizard of Oz? It's Jesus the Cowardly Lion. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was crazy. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program, more on what's going on over there in Israel and Iran, more on the shootings as well, and the fear that's going on out there, because there is a lot of fear. And understandably, it is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're going to have off and on rain through the rest of the week until Friday. We'll give you the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes.
Special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Israel, air sirens sounding again this past hour. The IDF says to the north, Israelis taking shelter again after days of escalating airstrikes between Israel and Iran. In an exclusive ABC News interview, Jonathan Karl spoke with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel's leader says their goal is to destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities, saying Iran has not shown it's ready to make a deal with the U.S.
We're going to see if Iran is serious about dismantling their nuclear program, dismantling their missile capacity, dismantling the terror axis that terrorizes everybody in the Middle East and well beyond. If they agree to all of that, obviously, the war could end.
President Trump at the G7 summit in Canada says Iran must agree to a nuclear deal.
They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war. And they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
This is ABC News.
The attacks on Minnesota state lawmakers Saturday has lawmakers at every level looking over their shoulders today. ABC's Jim Ryan says they may change the way they deal with the public.
In order to stay in contact with constituents, both state lawmakers shot in suburban Minneapolis Saturday had published their home addresses. After the shootings, officials in neighboring North Dakota pulled that information from their legislator biography pages. Back in Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz decried the violence.
This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Vance Bolter now faces federal charges which are death penalty eligible. Right now in Nashville, a competency hearing's underway for Shaquille Taylor, the suspect accused of killing Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig by a stray bullet. He claimed he was shooting at someone else. A mental health professional with a history with Taylor took the stand this morning. Taylor had been released from prison just months before Jillian was shot after a judge ruled he was incompetent to stand trial for another alleged violent crime, but not incompetent enough to be confined to a mental facility, so he was set free. Channel 4 got reaction from some of Jillian's loved ones pleading that the court not fail her parents again.
During their whole grief process, they've been having to fight, and I just cannot imagine the pain and the stress that they're feeling at the same time. No parent, no friend, no sibling should go through that ever.
This hearing in Nashville expected to last 2 days. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Very thunderstrucky. Suspect in Minnesota shooting expected in court any moment now. Man, watching people this weekend lose their mind over like, okay, I've got to position it for my team. How does my team look in this? Like all of the influencers took to their influential caves and came out with, okay, he knew Tim Walz, so therefore he was this. And then the other side comes out. He goes, Trump weak, and therefore he knew it was time to take out the. My God. It's like, how do you get down that hole? Is there any way back? Often wondered that. Can you find your way back, sir? Yeah, that's a scary thing. I know. It is. It's a scary thing. They go into that hole. They believe it. Watching people try to connect dots about, well, he's got this and he said this, but because he was appointed here, and what about this? And then over here, it's like, well, he supported Trump. Well, he's been pro-life since the 90s. So was that Trump too? Because that's a lot of what this is about, apparently, the pro-life thing. Not whether or not this lady took away Medicaid from farm workers or whatever. Oh, my Lord. And if I'm a politician right now, it's like, how do you... It is crazy out there. It is. Trust me, I see some of the stuff you guys say to me. I couldn't even imagine some of the... Right? Am I right? Like, it's... And you got to see, like, it's interesting. The left and the right both get mad at me, which normally, I mean, I don't care about. But the craziness of it all and the visceral hate that's out there at times, sometimes you could tell people are just screwing, and it's lost in translation because it's text or something like that. Okay. There are other times when it's just straight out. Well, we've played it here on a few occasions where people are screaming and yelling, right, Ken?
Oh, yeah.
Ken, did you like that picture I sent you?
Yeah.
We were talking about art last hour.
Man.
So
did they let her do that?
She did it on her own.
Okay.
And this guy, this like fresco painter, painted this amazing fresco way back in the day, and it was at a church, and this lady tried to repaint it because it was old and it was, it was cracking in the whole 9 yards. It was like a somewhat priceless. She thought she was, and instead she ruined it. But what do you do? She's like 90. We were talking about this couple today because somebody texted and said, oh, my God, I saw that couple fall down. They sat on a priceless work of art and broke it. And, they were doing something stupid. This lady thought she was helping.
She was trying to help.
But what she did do was she brought more people to that little church in forever because people want to come see the goofy painting.
That's right. Who knows, man? She may have saved souls.
She may have saved souls. Oh, my Lord.
I just don't get how, as you're going through and you're quote unquote fixing this, there had to be a moment where she was like, this isn't quite working.
It doesn't look right, because it got to the point where the nose was like, it went from being a nose past the lips, like it looked like one of those baboons.
It went from Jesus to a pancake.
Yeah, like real fast with like a fuzzy hat. It didn't even, but that to me is awesome. I'm like, you guys want to see my grandma painted? Check this out.
Look what Grandma painted.
But she was doing it because we were talking earlier. If you break a priceless work of art and you're one of those wackadoos who's there, because, the earth's too warm or whatever, say penguins. All right, you're an idiot. You should go to jail. You're this lady. You're 90, right? You're 80. You've lived in the town your whole life. You're not doing it on purpose. You think you're helping. So you shouldn't be in charge of that. And it was at a church. So it wasn't like anybody could walk by it. And the funny thing is, she started restoring it, and people walked by her for a couple days, not realizing you're not supposed to be doing this. Oh, my Lord. A lot of you chiming in about wanting to get rid of Iran. Here's the thing. We have this neocon, wackadoo group of politicians who want to blow stuff up all the time. Like, that's their go-to. Like, Lindsey Graham's like, it's on, or whatever stupid thing he said. Yeah, exactly. Well, So Lindsey's out there pushing this, let's blow it up. Let's do it. It's on. It's not on for you, Lindsey. You're not going to the front line, right? You're not going to be in one of our 50 bases throughout the Middle East where you may face, all kinds of crap overnight. You're not anywhere near there. You're here in America. That's where you are. And it's, and I see that, BB's out there talking about, well, they want to kill America. The wackadoo would love to kill America, right? In theory, they say that. But they're not, you know.
They want to weaken America, but they don't want America to not exist because then the big bad boogeyman that Khomeini pretends he's protecting them from goes away, and they don't need him anymore.
Yeah, everybody you need a boogeyman, right? Like, because have you ever watched Batman when all he does is beat up guys who rob convenience stores? It's not very fun. It's not very fun. I mean, if Superman didn't have a weakness in some way, shape, or form, what would it be? Well, nobody could beat him, so how boring would that be? You need something like that. Here is the aforementioned BB.
I understand America first, but I don't understand America dead.
I mean, this is Carl, who was talking to BB earlier in the day.
And that's what Iran wants. They say death to America. So when he is saying that, he is speaking to Donald Trump in a way, saying don't listen to those supporters on your side who are against involvement with Israel on this. Listen to us. You've been Israel's best friend. Continue to support us because ultimately this is not just a threat to Israel, it's a threat to the United States.
Not a threat to they're not going to do a damn thing. Could they pull off, maybe if they had some sleeper cells here, do some stuff? Yes. Could they bomb some of our bases? Yes. But threat to the United States is in what? What are they going to do? They got nothing to get here. They're not going to blow anything up over here. They're not going to bomb. That just isn't going to happen. And they also recognize the fight with Israel is a much different thing than a fight with America. Because they understand a fight with America is a whole different ballgame with a whole different set of rules. And so I want to avoid this. Not because I think the regime is wonderful. I don't. I think the regime is awful. But if you want lasting change, it's got to come from within. Us forcing something on them isn't going to change anything. And if Israel wants to go and throw down and fight, if they need our help when it comes to defending by shooting missiles down or some of that stuff, that's okay. But when it comes to us getting any kind of situation where we got boots on the ground, no. And I asked last hour, what does it look like, right? So we go in. What does it look like if we go and we defeat them, right? So the rest of the Middle East is pissed and they're on edge. So now Israel truly has zero opportunities for building any kind of good grace. Now, places like Saudi Arabia and stuff, they're not thrilled by us. That isn't a helper when it comes to anything, including Hamas. So now we're looking around going, okay, what have we done? Now we have to replace them. Well, we did that way back in the day. We put the Shah in. How'd that work out? That led to a revolution. So what are we going to do if we go and do this and we stand around? Because if you think, well, I got a great idea, we'll give them freedoms and give them all this kind of stuff. No, I look at this and I think at the end of the day, we're going to get ourselves into a position where it's going to cost us $2 trillion potentially if we had to go to war. It's going to cost lives across the board. There's going to be a vacuum that's open up that you never know who or what might take over. And what do we have at that point in time? Because if the thought process is we're going to give them baseball and apple pie and that they're going to love that, yeah, I don't think they're into that right now.
We're fighting this larger war against this oppressive regime that has oppressed the Iranian people for 46 years, that has spread mayhem, violence, and terror throughout the Middle East and well beyond.
And so taking away Iran is going to do that because nothing came out of Afghanistan. Nothing came out of, Iraq. Nothing comes out of any of these areas. Yes, Iran is bad. We all get that. But maybe trying to weaken them from within in a much different way. I mean, Mossad got in there and did what they did because there are people who are over it. There are people who are done with this. There are people who are over this regime and would like to see it change. But if we think we're just going to blow them up and then it's going to be a parking lot and then all of a sudden we're going to put up what? Grocery stores and amusement parks and baseball parks or something? Yeah, I just feel like this isn't our battle. We can support our friend. We can give them some of the stuff they need, But if they want the blood, sweat, and tears of a younger generation, no, I'm not with it. I'm not. Let me know what you think. A lot of stuff going on out there. Did you guys check out the No Kings protest? I wasn't at any of them. We had one of those No King protests like 200 plus years ago. Do you guys remember that one? It's a pretty big one. It lasted a little bit longer than this weekend. There's a lot of tea. There was a No Kings and we want our tea protest, but we want it without taxes. That's how important tea was to the Brits. All right? Just want to let you guys know that. That's how important tea was. You guys really think it's about taxes? It's about tea. Oh, my Lord. Just insane. And I watched none of the military thing. And it wasn't because, it's funny. I was talking today. I was on with the chicks on the right. I did their show today. And I'm like, I just had to tell them, I hate parades. I don't care what kind of parade it is. And they were like, you're so non-American. I'm like, no, man. It's just, why?
You like apple pie?
No.
Oh, you don't even like apple pie?
No, I don't. I like cake. I like donuts. No, you know what it is? I don't like sweet stuff. Even this weekend, my son's birthday, we got a cake. I could have 1 or 2 bites and it was too sweet. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't want any more. I don't like sweet stuff. Never been a jam. It's like, it takes me a while. It's not been my thing. So, yeah, I like a little bit of icing with a little bit of this, like a sponge cake, and that's it. I don't like thick icing in the middle of it either.
Whoo, yes, sir.
Is that it? Oh, my Lord. Good God. But I didn't watch any of the fireworks. Everybody's like, did you see the fireworks? I'm like, no, there's another silly thing, fireworks.
It's just a chance to honor them.
Yeah, it is. But they have a huge parade the Veterans Parade that takes place in November that is actually about, you want to talk about a crowd size. It is massive. It dwarfs this and it's huge. That's a great thing. This, it's just, man, Marco Rubio looked bored. He looked like I do. Like, parade, this is stupid.
Marco's got other stuff on his mind.
There's some stuff on his mind. I'll give you that. There's some stuff. Probably. He didn't have enough jobs. Marco, we got a big parade coming up. You're also going to do the fireworks. Do you know anything about fireworks? Nope. You should learn.
I'm going to be looking over your shoulder, Marco.
So funny. Oh, my Lord. Fat jokes. Woo! What kind of communist radio show is this, Jason? It's a fun one. I'll tell you that right now.
We haven't done any fat jokes.
No, we haven't. Well, that's because that's the way you look like you're eating something. Yeah, I like food. Just because I don't like cake, just because I don't like sweet things, doesn't mean I don't like other stuff.
I like food.
I like food. And who doesn't like food?
I like it a lot.
So, just so funny, people. I'll show you. You don't like apple pie. You must not be American. I'm taking away your Americanness. Coming up, talk a little bit about the shooting and the crazy conspiracy theories. Man, there's a lot of them out there. I heard some stuff this weekend. It was uncomfortable is the best way to describe it. For people I used to watch and go, oh, that's kind of interesting. Now I think, whoa, you weren't even Fonzie. You jumped the megalodon, not even a shark. It is the Chet Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. I would tell you this right now. Rough Greens is amazing. My dogs love Rough Greens. You will love Rough Greens as well for your dogs. Now, what is it? Supplements, powder form. You sprinkle on top of your dog's food. It's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. All the stuff that's living this can now bring your dog's food to life. Dog food is dead food. Dr. Dennis Black, the naturopathic doctor, formulated this. Will tell you that dog food is dead food. This helps give your dog's food all the nutrients and stuff it's missing because it's living, right? So that's why when you get the bag, you got to make sure you close it up tight. And I tell you, if your dog's a little older and they got aches and pains in their joints, you watch what happens. Maybe issues with their skin and fur, you watch what happens. Lethargy, you watch what happens. It is awesome. Try a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens now. It's a $20 value. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping, just a few bucks. roughgreens.com/Chad, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Get your bag of Rough Greens now. $20 value for free. You cover the cost of shipping. roughgreens.com/Chad.
Iran and Israel sending missiles at each other again. This story and more at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Grieves. I encourage those out there seeking to create additional chaos to stop spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories. Our law enforcement partners are building a case using facts and evidence to ensure Vance Bolter is held accountable.
Nobody would spread disinformation. That's unheard of, ma'am. Oh, there was so much craziness. So this guy goes on let's be real. He shows up at, 2 in the morning at these people's house or whatever, and wearing a police outfit with a latex mask that looks like it's a Michael Myers mask, which is a, James Kirk mask, right? So he shows up there, and without the hair, and then he shoots into the door, he kills the husband and wife, then he tries it again, and he wounds them. The husband is also a politician. And then the insanity starts because everybody wants to, this is what happens when you wrap yourself up in my politics is my identity. This is what happens. You get this insanity of, well, the reason he did it is because of, and then it's da-da-da-da-da. Well, do you have any idea? No, I don't, but this is what I've heard on the internet from other people, so this is what I think. Here's what I think. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this guy outside of, have you heard of him? Like Friday at midnight, have you heard of him? As it goes from 11:59 to Saturday, you never heard of the guy. Nobody had heard of the guy. Even most people, politicians, hadn't heard of this guy. Well, he's good friends with Tim Walz. That's my other favorite thing. He's good friends with Tim Walz. Then the left out there saying, oh, best friends. Are you kidding me? Best man at his wedding. Like, you could spread that. And people are like, yeah, I believe it. And what's scary is people, they go and they buy it. Just like on the left is like, well, Trump, he fostered the hate. He let people from January 6th go, so this is what you're going to get.
Feels good to me, so I'm going to accept it as reality.
Bing, bing. That's right. Ken's out there trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Too late, Ken. These guys have solved the mystery. We don't even need a trial. His wife planned it. That was another one. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. That's what I know. I don't know anything about him. And what I do know is I know a lot less about him because there's so much crap out there, I don't even know what's real. Like, have you seen some of the lunacy? Oh, God. Well, you know, he was appointed by Walls. He was also appointed by Pawlenty, I think, too. And it was a community thing. It wasn't like some big deal. Well, his wife was his closest confidant and intern. And I'm like, oh. And then the other people out there, this is what happens with January 6th. Trump gave him the nod. Go kill people I don't agree with. You people are all lunatics. Is anybody normal on the internet?
Exactly.
No. So, you know, is anybody normal on the internet anymore? No, it's just people running around screaming and yelling, saying stuff because it's about likes. It's not about the incident. It's not about the victims. It's not about the person that caused it. It's about how do I look in this moment to the people that I'm feeding crap to? Well, I've been talking to several people. Look, I've been an influencer for almost a year now. I got some of the best intel ever.
My sources say.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you exactly what's going on. What do you guys think going on? That's exactly what I think's going on. Whatever it is that you think. Like and subscribe. Oh, just even watching a few people that I've watched before, and I thought, oh, they're interesting, and I think, no, that's not true. That's not true. How would you even know that? Like, how would no, that's not true. No. Well, he has stuff inside of his his car. I'm like, what does that even mean? He's got the no king, so it's obviously he's a liberal. I'm like, ugh. Or he was going to go shoot a bunch of people up. You could have, oh, yeah, I guess you could have said that. But no way, because it's obviously he loves Tim Walz. Tim Walz should be fired because he knew this was going to happen. That was my favorite one, the two. He should be fired. He knew this was going to happen. No, Tim's got other issues. Like you going out there going, we need to bring the rhetoric down. You're the one who's saying, hey, we need to be bullies. We need to be mean. Right? You bring the temperature down, too. Padilla, we're looking at you. That didn't help last week. So everybody take a deep breath, okay? Let's just think good thoughts. It's a Monday. It's too early for this stuff. Coming up, let's talk about other things that are fun, shall we? Because we've got some of them. Got some of your text messages as well. Some of you are mad at me that I don't like cake. Pie. Some of you actually agree with me. And Bell sent you a horrible text. And that's a Bell thing. That's not a Chad thing. It's Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
.1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Several days of waves of rain before summer finally gets here and we dry out. We'll tell you all about it during the full forecast in 5 minutes. Iran and Israel sending missiles at each other again. Listen as this Iranian state TV newscast is interrupted by an Israeli strike today.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلود استادیوم.
They'll be back after the break. Reportedly, thousands of people heeded Israel's warning to evacuate the Iranian capital of Tehran before this latest round. ABC News sat down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about his country's conflict with Iran.
We're going to continue until we remove the two existential threats, the nuclear threat and the threat of 20,000 ballistic missiles that are equivalent to 2 nuclear bombs.
Prime Minister stressing he sees this conflict as one that's not just for the good of Israel, but for the good of the world.
They're working secretly to rapidly weaponize this. In a few months, they would have nuclear bombs. That's what they want to do. They want to continue stringing the U.S. along, build up those weapons. They don't want a seat at the table. They want to blow up the table. Specifically, they want to blow up Israel.
President Trump was asked at the G7.
They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war. And they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
That's President Trump when asked if Iran has reached out to de-escalate the conflict with Israel. The man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota state lawmakers in court today, Vance Belter, in federal custody, is going to face federal and state murder and attempted murder charges. The federal charges carry the possibility of the death penalty. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Retirement ready toolkit from our friends over at Beacon. You know, retirement's not just about the dollars and cents. With all the things that are happening in the world, you have to think about, the dollars and cents, that's a big deal. But also, what about, I don't know, let's call it the rest of life, like maybe healthcare, estate planning, tax planning. That's what Beacon does. They want to be your full-service investment advisor. Now, you have the option, taking care of all the aspects of retirement planning right from Beacon's offices. You get your entire financial house in order, all with one swoop. And that's the beauty of Beacon. Call them today. Get your free retirement ready toolkit, 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. You're going to get a Money Enough for Life book, retirement planning checklist, and a Maximizing Retirement Income white paper, all at no cost, no obligation, and no pressure. So whether it's taxes, your fear of running out of money, healthcare, whatever it is, Beacon has you covered. Call them today, 615-488-9303. Check them out online at AskBeaconNow.com. Have you seen the video of the station?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. So here is, which, by the way, was a big hit. We'll be back right after these messages. Here's the lady talking. And they show, like, to the right, the split screen of missiles flying around. And they're look, right? Just like our weather people, they're doing their job. And then the job ends. News at 11.
News, film at 11.
From indoors.
My goodness. She's standing there. She, whoop, got to go. Bye. Which is the right thing to do. My goodness me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be hanging around.
No, I wouldn't be hanging around either. She's just there, man. She's just giving it, too. She's very serious about it. She's very yelly, too. Very yelly.
Of course, then again, that is Iranian state TV, so she might have to stay there.
It's possible. Get back out there. What are you doing? Stop it. Get back out there. Go.
Get back on the air.
There was the No Kings this weekend. Not the Los Angeles Kings or the former Sacramento Kings that are still, I think they're still the Kings. Yeah. They used to be the Kansas City Kings. Here's some of the excitement from the people out there this weekend. Boy, they were just want to make sure everything's okay.
It's really cool, especially to see a lot of older people be out, because sometimes it feels a little bit like everyone is against you.
I feel like I need to be here to show that I don't support what's happening.
There's a lot of people that are afraid to come out and do it. So we've got to come out and do it for them so that they can be free again in the free country.
I have a 7- and 8-year-old granddaughter up in Bedford, and I feel like their rights are being taken away. And they're growing up in a country that we no longer know what's going on. It's really sad.
There's no justice. There's no law. There's no constitution. There's no anything. It's all eroding away to nothing because there's going to be nothing left. Little by little, it's all going away.
No, it's not. Still there. But Chad, look, every time he oversteps the Constitution, what do they do? They come and they slap him down as far as the lawsuits go. Say, no, you can't do that. Then they go, okay, well, what else can we do? We're trying this. What did I say at the beginning of this? He was going to throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, see what stuck. What sticks is great. What doesn't, we're going to have to move on from there. That's exactly what he's done. But he hasn't. He's following them. You may not like what he's doing. That's fine. Most people don't care. They're getting on with their life. But if you're the Republicans, you got to take some stock in this weekend. There was a lot of people out there. Right? Let's just say they cut it in half. They say 4 to 6. Let's say it's 3 million people. It's a lot of people in the streets who weren't thrilled. And with midterms coming up, you've got to take some stock in that. Not all of them, they're all paid protesters. That's a lot of money to pay people. What would that have cost you? So, but you've got to take you got to look at this and say, all right, okay, well, what are we going to do? We're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to keep pressing forward, and we're going to deal with the big issues and go from there. And one of these big issues, as I remind everybody, and all you Democrats out there, this is a you issue when it comes to what has taken place with immigration. You allowed a billion people to come in this country, unfettered access everywhere. And now what? Well, now you've got the situation where this is the pushback. And the pushback is people are still very much about, hey, we're not thrilled by this. We want some deportations. Now, I know that's changing somewhat because Trump has kind of come out and said, hey, farm workers, you guys should stay. That's maybe the hotel, restaurant workers, you should stay. We've got to find some of these people, and he's going after the blue cities, which will be another battle. Why is he only coming after us? Because he's going to where the issue is, and the issue has been right there with the blue cities. I mean, you said to yourself, my God, you're a sanctuary city. A sanctuary city. So this is where we are. I don't think anything changed because these had gone on. Here's the one thing I will say. Was it the Women's March that happened after Trump first got? Was that right, Ken? Was that Women's March?
Yeah.
With the hats?
Yeah.
With the vagina hats?
Yes. Yeah, what was that called that day? Well.
Yeah. So, but when it comes to the Women's March, it wasn't put together the same way. This march was much more organized in a lot of places. And I had friends who were on the ground covering some of his stuff, and most of it. Here's my thought about any of this stuff. If you show up dressed like, what's that show where they all have to wear red? Always forget it.
Oh, Handmaid's Tales or something like that.
Trump's Hitler. Really? Is he? Because I'm pretty good study of history, and I spent a lot of time over there in Europe studying history. And I can't remember the last time he's like, I hope several million people march against me, and that'll go over well. We'll just let that happen with no repercussions. That didn't happen, did it? No. Nobody got picked up and got their feet beaten, right, and tortured. So settle down. Settle down. More from the No Kings. So that right there was parts of Dallas and Nashville. Here's parts of Los Angeles and whatnot.
I've got 2 teenage daughters at home and a son, and I want them to have a country where they're free. They're free to be whatever they want. They're free with reproductive rights. They're just free, and I don't feel like we're going to be free anymore if things keep going the way that they are.
I do think it's important that we all gather as Americans and let our voices be heard. And you can see all the different signs around, at this rally, and see all the people that are feeling deep in their heart that something needs to change.
It's an absolute waste of tax dollars in any kind of way that you can put it. It's a threat. It's a threat to the American people that says if you step out of line, we will destroy you. We will take everything you love away, and I'm not going to stand for that. I can remember in 2016 all the propaganda that was put out on North Korea and how they had a show for Kim Jong-un's birthday and all the rockets that they displayed and the nuclear weapons. And the West took that as an insult and kind of a threat. Well, I see absolutely no difference in what's happening in D.C. right now.
Yeah, no difference. Rah! And you know what was big trending this weekend was the marching. So everybody's like, well, our guys don't even know how to march. No, it was that's not who we are. All we should care about is what can we do if we're on the battlefield, which I hope we're not on the battlefield anytime soon. Israel, looking at you. I hope we're not. But it's just listening to that. These people live in this area of, well, a lot of people do nowadays. Right? Because I hear from you guys. Oh, I don't like the station anymore because you don't tell me the things I want to hear. Bell. I blame Bell on that.
That's Brother Bell's fault.
It is. You need to tell me everything I need to hear, Bell, the way I want to hear it. Serve it up to me cold and hot.
And if you don't, you're a damn liberal.
Damn liberal. A liberal. I long for the day. That's my other favorite one I hear from people. I long for the day. Okay. Well, this is the day you live in now. So, long for that day. See how it goes. What does it even mean, long for the day? What do you people
yearn. You yearn.
Yearn for the day. Longing for the day of the thing. But, Chad, Trump's just like Hitler. I hear that all the time.
Donald Trump is America's Hitler.
Yeah. Eric Swalwell. Oh, didn't he fall in love with Chairman Mao's daughter? What was her name? Fang Fang? Fen Fen? Fen Fen was that drug that you'd give people that to lose.
That was a weight loss drug.
It was a weight loss drug, and they found out it was just straight meth, and your liver would fall out after like a month.
He was dating Fang Fang.
Fang Fang, which sounds like some sort of bad superhero. Oh my God, it's Fang Fang. Jeez. Stop with the Hitler stuff. Stop with it. It doesn't do anybody any good. That's not real, especially with all the crap we've got going on. All right, none of that's real. Like, he's not Adolf Hitler. He's not. I mean,
so if he was, wouldn't his kids and his daughter and son-in-law already be in a camp?
They're the first ones to go because he wants to show everybody how serious he is. You're the first ones we're getting rid of. No. Adolf Hitler. all of the stuff about the overreach of, oh, my God, he's just like a king. How is he a king? Because you're not doing this if he's a king.
How many different times since the inauguration has the Supreme Court slapped his hand?
A lot. Like, a lot of courts have slapped his hand. He's won some, he's lost some. You didn't find that in Kingland. They didn't get together and goes, we've spoken to all the jesters, and they've said we don't like his ruling, sir. And away you go. No, that doesn't happen. He's not a ruler. He's not a dictator. Because if he was a dictator, do you think Kim Jong-un would stand any of this? I'm thinking no.
Putin?
The pooter?
She
whiz. He wouldn't.
You don't see any protesting going on in China, Russia, or North Korea.
It happens for an hour. Like, you remember Hong Kong when they took over Hong Kong and they decided, okay, here's all the people that you can choose to be the mayor of your city.
Yeah.
And they're like, everybody, for like 3 or 4 days, it was a rabble-rouse. Then it was a month, but nothing, and then eventually it went away. Nothing happened. No, because they'll put it down until it gets too big. And this isn't happening here. I'm sorry. Like Trump, did I think that the parade was a good idea? No, just because I just don't think that's not who we are, right? But at the same time, I have zero problem celebrating the military. We should do that all the time. But when I look at this and they make it seem like, well, this is just like North Korea. It is not. How would you even know what North Korea is like? Oliver, what was his name? Biermeyer, what the hell that guy's name was?
Warm beer.
Warm beer, whatever it was. He went over, he stole a sign, and they beat him to death, essentially, and starved him to death. He stole a sign. He didn't steal secrets, right? He wasn't part of some clandestine group that was there to take down. He stole a sign and thought it would be funny. They decided to hold him. Then they come up with some trumped up charges. Then they whoop his ass and starve his ass and then send him home an hour before he dies, kind of thing. That's it. We are not those places. We are not. So when I hear people freak out about that, it just makes me, you're insane. You're insane. There are other places that are in the West that I see real issues. The UK is a hot mess. They don't know what to do with themselves. And they've allowed a group of people to come from all over the globe to bring their Sharia with them in certain parts of the country and to then have a two-tier justice system in a lot of ways and start to clamp down on freedom. Same thing is going on in Germany. So that's not us. So everybody settle down because you were marching in the streets. I saw it. You held up traffic. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to. See what kind of joke Ken makes in this next jokey cast of news. Made people laugh. You made somebody spit out their drink, Ken. All because Iran was bombed. If you miss any of the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99. Birch Gold is awesome. Why gold? Because it's amazing. Gold's incredible, especially at a time when you got the Rio reset getting ready to come up. You got the BRICS meeting. Everybody's trying to get away from the dollar, from these groups of people. Could you see a smashing down of the dollar, people trying to take it down? What would that do? Well, that would send gold through the roof. And having gold is a great way to diversify and protect yourself because that's what it's about. It's about protection. It's about having something as a just in case. And gold delivers that on top of everything else. With inflation, the worry about the economy, and yes, the unrest globally. Why not gold? And Birch is the ones to deliver it. So what I want you to do, text the word Benson to 989898 today. They're my precious metals company. Birch, they'll get you out an info kit. Their whole thing is the more information you have, the better it's going to be for you to have the knowledge about what you might want to do with savings or maybe your IRA or 401k and get it into an IRA backed by precious metals. And they can do that for you tax-free. That's what's awesome about them. So why don't you text the word Benson now to 989898 for Birch Gold, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They're amazing. I trust them. You should do the same. Text the word Benson to 989898 now for Birch Gold.
Israel and Iran are firing missiles at each other again, and we're learning more about the man accused of shooting two Minnesota state lawmakers, killing one of them and her husband. We'll let you hear some of that coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
When you live in you go down a rabbit hole, right? You're down there and you're in that tunnel of only one side. You start to lose your mind, and this is what happens. This is a lady, her name was Sarah, and she sits around, I'm sure, all day and just watches nothing but, MSNBC. Listen to her.
I'm just so scared. I'm 74 years old. I worry about everything, and I just am so scared and upset, and I don't understand why people voted for this person.
She is in hysterics, right? And she's there, and she genuinely is terrified. It's like when we talked about when I went out to the Tesla things. It's a lot of older people who they feel that Trump is going to take everything away because they're watching one thing where they got Elon stealing everybody's data. They're taking all your money. That's all they're doing. And you're never going to get your paychecks again. And you're never going to get this. You're never going to get. And they're terrified because that's what the left has done. And it doesn't matter if it's left or right. If you sit around all day and you only listen to one point of view and you only get one side of things, you can be easily terrified into something. And that's what happens. And you should be able to challenge your beliefs, because let me tell you something. The more that you challenge your beliefs, the more that your beliefs turn to be the right thing. That's a great thing.
And go and dig deep. Go past the headlines.
Oh, God. That would be so
That's the thing about the headlines on social media and on both sides.
Oh,
they are misleading.
Yeah, they're there to get you to read. And I mean, I listen to that lady, and looking at her face, she is terrified, as if Trump is about ready to come off the, he's got the tanks and he's leading the charge and he's coming to get this lady on her own. I mean, she's that terrified because she feels helpless, because she's been told she's a victim. She's 74. I mean, Sarah, it's not like you live another 20 or 30 years, but you'd like to know that you're going to live, peacefully. Well, I can't now because I've been told that everything's gone.
Yeah, well.
Everything's gone.
Exactly. I mean, she's been told that thousands are going to die because of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she's one of them, right? They got her name on there. Sarah, dead for sure.
Yep.
Get rid of her. I mean, and that's a sad thing. It is a sad thing that we live in this time where you would think you're 74, man. You didn't think maybe I should go over there and ask somebody else? Is this going to happen? Where then you get somebody to go, no, ma'am, that's not going to happen to you. Because when I was talking to people out there at the rally, the Tesla, against Tesla, I was like, none of that stuff's going to happen. And it hasn't happened. Are you sure? Yes, I'm 100% sure none of that stuff's going to happen. I mean, it's great to talk about and to get you riled up, but those people don't care about you. They care about getting a reaction out of you, which is sad. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. Don't go anywhere. Ken's got your headlines for today. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got waves of rain on the way, and we'll tell you for how long during the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Israel and Iran are firing waves of missiles at each other again. Israel had warned people living in the Iranian capital of Tehran to leave ahead of this latest round, which interrupted a live Iranian state TV newscast. The anchor leaves the anchor seat immediately, and you can see some dust and a little bit of debris. Meanwhile, ABC News sat down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who says he thinks Iran is leading the U.S. to think Iran's not building a nuclear bomb, but he says they're just trying to buy time.
We're going to see if Iran is serious about dismantling their nuclear program, dismantling their missile capacity, dismantling the terror axis that terrorizes everybody in the Middle East and well beyond. If they agree to all of that, obviously, the war could end.
President Trump says Iran would, quote, like to talk about de-escalating the conflict with Israel. Meanwhile, the USS Nimitz carrier strike group sailing toward the Middle East ahead of schedule, according to Fox News. Right now in Minnesota, U.S. Attorney for the district there, Joseph Thompson, updating the investigation of Vance Belter, who's in federal custody for the murders of a state lawmaker and her husband and then attempted murder of another.
It is no exaggeration to say that his crimes are the stuff of nightmares. Belter stalked his victims like prey.
Says he had other targets.
In the early morning hours of June 14th, Belter went to the homes of 4 Minnesota state politicians with the intent to kill them.
He outlines the moments before Belter allegedly shot State Senator John Hoffman and his wife.
They shouted out, "You're not a cop. You're not a police officer." Belter then announced, "This is a robbery," and forced himself into their home. When Senator Hoffman attempted to push Belter out and stop him from entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly.
Belter's in federal custody, facing federal and state murder and attempted murder charges that could carry the death penalty or life in prison. All 17 former members of a CDC advisory panel on vaccines are speaking out following the recent firings by the Health and Human Services Secretary. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with more from Washington.
Writing in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, the former members of the advisory panel say their dismissals have left the nation's vaccine program critically weakened. These experts also say the administration's changing recommendations on COVID-19 shots, quote, reflect a troubling disregard for the scientific integrity that has historically guided U.S. immunization strategy. Last week, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. appointed 8 new members to the vaccine panel, including noted vaccine skeptics.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Trump's the G7. Are they the G6 now? Then they kick Russia out of it?
G7. It was G8 when Russia was
okay,
part
G8.
of it.
See, there we go. We contracted. Will they let them in ever again? When all is well, Trump wants that, right? We can all make money. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. Everybody's going to make dollars. We're all going to be happy. Lie on the beach and you hear job. We don't care. Oh, my Lord. I've got some interesting stuff, but I got to double check as I go through it because some of the audio I know has some bleeps in it. I got to make sure the bleeps are in the right place. Did you see that lady sing the national anthem in Spanish in L.A.?
I did not see it. I saw the news alert, if you will.
Yeah, lots of news alerts. Lots of news alerts, kids. Lots of news alerts.
Yeah, how'd that go over?
Not well among the right, as you would expect. My thing is the Dodgers told you not to do it.
She did it anyway.
She did it anyways.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, she's an artist, right? They also told, what's her name? Sinead O'Connor.
Right.
If you want to tear up Bush's face, that's fine. Don't mess with the Catholics. You mess with the Catholics, nobody ever saw you again until it was too late. I mean, it was, they knew back then, don't stay away from religion, right? Because originally it wasn't even going to be Bush. And then they were like, we're not sure about that. Then it was like, we're going to do don't do Bush, don't do any. And she did it. And that's what happens. And they told this lady, the Dodgers told her, they got her on film going, look, it's great. Sing the anthem in English, please. That's all we're asking you to do. And then she went out and she's like, nah.
I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. And look, the anthem was back in the 40s. I don't know if it was FDR. Somebody had them do a Spanish version of it because they wanted to, talk about, how, because in particular, Mexico, people coming here from Mexico and Latin America, how we have a tight, close bond. Okay. Like if it was, because I've been to Dodger night when it's Mexican Heritage Night. Okay, do it then. But she wanted to do it for the ice raids.
Well, of course.
Well, of course you do, darling. But this is a Dodger game. We care about home runs and Dodger dogs.
Dodger dogs.
Best dogs in the world, Dodger
I bet
dogs.
you they are.
Dodger dogs. Dodger dogs. Just, that's it, Dodger. I heard Chris was telling me that he was calling Mark Levin the night guy. Saying he wants the war. He wants war. The night guy wants war. That made me laugh. The night guy wants, I don't want war, okay? Period. Case closed. If you want war with Iran, I don't. I've seen no win in any of this other than we lose a lot of money. Unless, of course, right, like, guys, I'll tell you what, though, if there's a war, I'm going to go out and buy all the Halliburton stock I can find. And any of that stuff you can get.
Don't forget BlackRock.
BlackRock, Halliburton, right? Who else we got out there that's making stuff? Any air? I was Boeing. Sorry, I'm kind of short, you guys, right now. But it's a little struggle there. But because that's what it's about. Lindsey Graham running around talking about, oh God, saying, "Hi guys, it's me, it's Lindsey Graham." I'm doing a Lindsey Graham impression. Here we go. Hey guys, it's really crazy out there. Let's go get Iran. That's what I think he sounds like. Because he's not going, right? He's not going. Nor should we. And Trump's trying his damnedest to get a deal done. Oh, is he trying hard? Because he doesn't want what's coming. What's coming is, well, he's supposed to be the dude that talks about, about peace. Because that's what he wants. He wants peace. He wants everybody to make money. That's what he wants, his dream, everybody to make money. I got no problem with that. And my beef isn't, but yeah, you know what? Are the Iranians, the leaders in particular, this theocracy of lunacy that down with the West, down with, you're not taking the West down. It's not going to happen. It's great that we're your foil, if that's what it is, to tell your people how bad and evil the West is. But you know what? You're, for the most part, people are frustrated and they're angry, but they don't hate the West. They don't. You know what's weird this weekend, guys? I got so many, I don't know if you've seen them, Ken, flipping around as you're looking for your Great recipes on the old Father's Day stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I got a lot of women from Iran, like, showing me around Tehran.
Oh, really?
Oh, I got a lot of that. Like influencers, because that's what it is now. Like there's also this Russian hottie that is trying to influence you to go to like North Korea. So like, they treat me great here, yeah, or whatever. You're like, okay, but it's so crazy, dude. She's like, yeah, it only cost me like 2 shekels to come here, and you're like, okay,
2 shekels
or whatever it is that they cost them. And she flies over there on some crappy airplane that you'll think feels like that's going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it's the same thing. I've got a lot of, and by the way, Tehran, like Iran itself, was gorgeous. It was a place where everybody in Europe used to go. They used to go to Lebanon, right? They go to Beirut because it was a party. Like they go and they drink. It was, you know what I was telling everybody? It's what we did in Havana, pre nut job. Pre-Castro.
Castro.
It's like Atlantic City. And that's what was happening there, pre that. Like the girls had short skirts. And that was like the place that the European women would go get all the cool stuff. Short skirts, all of this stuff. They looked the part, right? And then you had the loonies out there who wanted the hard line Islam. And you know, people gotten soft and they weren't going to fight back against that. So, and now I think it's turning the other way, but I don't think we need to be involved. And no, for a second, do I think that the Iranian people want us dead? No more than I think a lot of the Chinese want us dead. I think all of us just want to kind of get on with our life. But are there loonies out there? Of course. And Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror. So that's an issue. And that's always been the biggest issue about whether or not to get a bomb. I'm not worried about whether or not their government would try to do something. My fear has always been, what happens when your government falls apart and the guy that happens to be the biggest gangster in town gets a hold of your weapons? That's always been a bigger fear among the Islamic nations. Like, I don't worry about that with Islam, but I've worried about that with Pakistan.
Well, it's the same thing that happened when the Soviet Union fell apart. And all of a sudden you're having to wonder about this little country having nukes and this little country having nukes. And
yeah. Well, that Lord of War, which was Nicolas Cage, another phenomenal movie. That's actually a movie you're like, that guy's such a great actor. Ethan Hawke's in it. Because we, as you guys know, Ken and I and everybody here, he is the greatest actor of all time.
Nick Cage?
Nick Cage.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody does it worse and better at the same time. He can release a movie that no one will ever watch, but if you do, it's awful, and then he'll release another movie where, like, he may win an Academy Award. Because he's got one. He's got an Academy Award. Think about that. He has an Academy Award. That's pretty crazy.
Freaking Cage.
That's so great, Nicolas Cage. We got to get him on the show.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man.
He's just awesome. We got to get him here. Wouldn't he just be the best?
Yes.
So what's going through your mind when you're making like a space samurai movie?
How much money I'm making.
Yeah. Is it like 6 weeks? You're like, I can buy, you know how many dinosaur heads I can buy with this? Is that how you decide what movies you're doing?
I'm telling
you,
man.
What was the Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff he did where he didn't have
Willy's
dialogue?
Wonderland. Have you seen that yet?
I've got to watch that.
You've got to watch that. Willy's Wonderland is amazing.
Wait a minute. You're going to pay me how much and I have no lines?
No lines. Doesn't even say anything. Just a grunt every once in a while. And you fight animatronic animals.
See, that's what they do with Keanu Reeves in the John Wick show. He doesn't have to say anything.
No. His best line in that. People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Then in one scene, he kills like 50 people.
He kills Pig. That's the people who are like Con Air. Just look at this.
Oh, that movie Pig he did is outstanding.
Yeah. But think about this. It's John Wick because somebody stole his truffle pig.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he was a chef that ended up getting horrible anxiety.
Yeah.
Moves out to the
middle of nowhere
in Oregon, finds a pig that can
get
round up truffles.
And then
somebody comes and steals it.
And then he's like, I'm going to go John Wick. And then he goes John Wick, and he kills him. It's just so bizarre.
It is a very bizarre movie. But I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but you're like, wow, this is John Wick with a truffle pig.
Exactly.
But the difference is he wasn't some Russian. He wasn't Baba Yaga.
No.
Right?
He was just a cook.
It's
He was a really good cook at one time.
He's got that new movie out now called The Surfer.
Nick Cage?
Yeah, okay, it's a new movie that came out, and everybody's like, it's one of his best performances ever.
Oh, my gosh.
See, you guys, we could talk about all the rest of the stuff. We don't care about it. It's time to move on and talk about real movies. So The Surfer is about Nick Cage, who is in Australia, and he used to surf a lot, even though he's an American. And, like, I think his kids are there. And what happens is it looks like, what was that movie with Keanu Reeves where he was, and...
Point Break?
Point Break. It's like Point Break. The bad guys
Johnny
from,
Utah.
Yeah, it's like the bad guys from that are dominating this beach, and he's just had enough of it after they beat him up and do some stuff in front of his kids and stuff. So
I'm watching that.
Oh, it's a Nicolas Cage movie.
It's got 86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
There you go. The Rock was a great movie. Yeah, The Rock. He's just, no.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage. Man, he is so awesome. He is. I could just watch his stuff all day. And you never know, because every week you got to go check, because there's going to be another Nicolas Cage. You go look at his IMDb, it's got like 40 movies coming out.
Don't watch Butcher's Crossing.
No, I won't.
You're wasting your time if you try to watch Butcher's Crossing.
He got into like Westerns like 2 years ago. He's like, I'm going to do at least 10 Westerns this week.
Yeah. In this one, there's about 30 minutes of him killing buffalo. There's sad music playing.
You got to wonder if he even reads the scripts.
No, why would he read the script? He doesn't have to read the script.
About halfway through that scene, that's whenever I thought, okay, it's time to turn this thing.
Yeah, he's a movie where he's a space time warrior ninja or whatever. I'm like, I don't even know what this is about, and it's all. He screams at the kind of thing where China would go, we'll give you $25 million to start in a movie where you fight a dragon. He's like, all right, I'll do it.
Dude, I would definitely watch Nick Cage fight a dragon.
Yeah, he needs to. What haven't you fought, Nick? A dragon? We're doing it now. Like, I look at the Meg and I'm like, you guys missed a chance. Because he would have totally fought the Meg.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
With only a snorkel.
He doesn't need anything
He'd have just
else.
held his breath.
He's Nick Cage. You'd have punched him in the face. Because he's Nick Cage. And you don't screw with Nick.
He'd have let the Meg swallow him, and then he'd have pulled out a machete, and he would have hacked his way out of it.
Oh, God. That's why he's the greatest of all time. Instead, you went and got that other guy.
Oh, yeah. Jason Statham.
Did you see Longlegs?
Yes.
Brilliant. See, there's
Brilliant
where he's brilliant. Like, there's some things where he's just, you're like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. I would not have known that was him.
Yeah, he has points where he can be a very, very good actor, but then he also has points where you're looking at it going, this guy's doing this for a paycheck.
Retirement Plan was great. That was another sweet movie. Like, look at the Dream Scenario, Sympathy for the Devil, Renfield. I loved Renfield. I watched Renfield.
Raising Arizona.
But the Surfer, got to watch The Surfer.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch that.
And The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah, brilliant movie.
Yeah. It's like, what's that about? It's about a guy who wants to basically be pals with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage.
Yes. And that's where he goes, Nick freaking Cage.
Oh, so awesome.
I'm back, baby.
Oh, so incredible. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about some stuff that may or may not be serious. So we got that coming for us. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Go there, get a free Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens. It is a powdered formula supplement. You give your dog on a daily basis. Sprinkle on top of your dog's food and watch what happens. It's got the vitamins, the minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. For our older dog, Doodle, I've talked about it before. He was long in the tooth when we adopted him. We didn't realize. We thought he was way younger and turned out to be way older. And he struggled with his aches and his pains in his hips. We started giving him this, and it saved his life because we were about to put him down because we couldn't do anything with him. Couldn't pick him up, couldn't touch him. He'd freak out. He'd snap at us. And then we started giving him this, and our little tweener dog just kept going and going. And 6 years later, he finally passed away, but he lived his best life. Try a Jumpstart trial bag of this. No matter if your dog's tiny or large. My mom's dogs, and by the way, my mother's dogs are big. How big? Her St. Bernard is the smallest of the dogs that she has. and they love it. It's great for their fur, their skin, and it's great for their aches and pains in their joints. RUFFgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad. $20 jumpstart value. You get it for free. Just cover the cost of shipping. Roughgreens.com/Chad. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has the presidential special going on. $34 for your first consultation, x-rays if needed, and a first treatment. All you have to do is call 615-246-5009. Well, why the Wellness Institute? Well, it's about getting your back back, right? So this is non-surgical spinal decompression. It's the most modern stuff with the most modern people working there. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley. They're about getting you up and building you a plan to get your back, as I like to say. And it's $34 because they tried 34 times to get the president, and they didn't get it. So this is part of the big 47 going on now. So if you want a pain-free life and you think, I've tried it before, it doesn't happen, how can this? You can say yes now by going to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. It is so simple and easy. And if you've tried everything else and you're frustrated, you think, well, Chad, I'm just going to do certain. No. Go see Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley. With their technology and their brilliance, they're going to get you up and moving again. Start a pain-free life now. It is possible. Call the Wellness Institute of Nashville today, 615-246-5009. That's 246-5009, or go to painisbad.com.
Israel says Iran is attacking again. Sirens blaring in Tel Aviv. President Trump at the G7 summit in Canada meeting with world leaders. And an unsealed federal affidavit has revealed more details about the Minnesota man who is accused of killing one state lawmaker and her husband and trying to kill another state lawmaker and his wife. But he actually visited 4 couples. We'll tell you about that at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Guy's a nut job. He's got a lot of issues. No, I don't know why he did what he did. I don't think anybody does. And anybody out there telling you, I've got the inside scoop. They don't. They don't. And if everything is always a cover-up, too. It's funny. You have the inside scoop, but everything's a cover-up.
Good thing this one couple had security detail.
Well, I don't know what they're going to end up charging because there's going to be a lot more than just this. By the way, they gave him a $5 million bond, which I found weird.
That's kind of low.
Well, not only that, but last time I checked, this guy seemed to have a bit of cash. So could he mortgage everything, right? His house and stuff, if he's got that to get himself?
Just make the monthly payments.
It's just insane. So, and yeah, he's probably going to face the death penalty, as he should. But he went to 4 different places, apparently.
Yeah.
Man.
One place had security detail, and, well, you'll hear. You'll hear what happened.
It's across the whole spectrum, though. There are plenty of people that are worried because there are some nut jobs out there, right? And it's not the first time. Look, political assassination, nut jobs, doing crazy things. I go back to the crazy Bernie supporter at the congressional baseball practice.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't blame the Democrats for. That guy made a choice. The choice was he was a nut job. And he went out there, and, I don't blame Bernie or anybody like that. But there's a perfect example. You think you're out practicing baseball. You're out practicing baseball, and this is what you get. Just crazy. And then we forget that there's been not one but two attempts on the president's life. But he was not the president, but he was soon to become the president. There's two attempts. We can't have this. Everybody needs to and I've been talking about it, man. The theatrics and the kabuki theater and all that stuff. Not everybody's elevator goes all the way to the top. Some of it stops on aisle 3. I mean, it's floor 3 crazy. I'm getting off here. And they're like, reminds me of Christmas Vacation with Cousin Eddie. They take it literally.
Yes.
They're the enemies. He's Hitler. We're doing this. Oh, they're coming to get us. And, oh, yeah, all they hear is, ooh, I should go stop this. I'm going to go stop this, Ken. You got to go. Good God. So that's insane. Man, I tell you what. Should have been a quiet weekend. Father's Day weekend, right? Should be relaxing, enjoying ourselves. Watching a little bit of the golf, right? Watching JJ Spawn hit this magical, amazing, absolutely ridiculous putt.
Want to cozy it up. Don't need to make it. 2 putts.
One. That's right, 1.
64 feet.
Yeah, just insane. If you didn't see it. And he was struggling. He came out, and his first 6 holes, he was 5 over. He went from being in like second or third place to he had dropped down to the second page.
What did that bring him up to?
That one, he had to, a 2-putt would have won him the tournament, but he nailed it just in the go. I mean, it was insane, just the whole reaction of it. But
wow,
the big thing that happened was he kind of got back in the groove, and then the rains came. And he said he went inside, and his coaches got it to him, and they said, dude, this is exactly what you need. Remember who you are. Get back out there. And he said he remembered that he and Max Homa, another great golfer, they went out to lunch, and he said when he was talking to Tiger, Max Homa said, the U.S. Open's weird because all you have to do is just not disappear. Everybody at some point in time is going to come back, and they're going to come back to you because the course is too tough. And he went out, and he just kind of played par golf, and then he hit a couple great shots, and everybody just fell apart. And next thing you know, the big shot came, I think, on the 17th. He had a massive drive on the 17th. It was a drivable par 4, and he hit it he birdied it, and it was awesome. And then that was it. But I also think that, Sam Burns, who was in the lead, he got kind of screwed because the rains were torrential. And there was one point where he wanted relief because it was like hitting out of the pond. And they didn't give it to him. And he called another guy and says, I can't do this. And they said, no, you have to. And then I think it went straight to his head, and he hit the ball, and it went left, and then he was in a position where there was no way he was going to have any chance of getting it up and down. Even for a bogey would be tough. And they all fell behind.
So he actually shot it out of the pond?
Yeah, well, it wasn't even the pond. It was there was so much water, and
I got you.
And the fairway sloped all the way down. And even when he's taking swings, you could see just the water splashing up, and that's going to make your ball do wacky things. Yeah. And then it got in his head, and then that was it.
Yeah, once that happens,
and everybody came apart. Coming up, we got wacky audio because I love Ken. And I love wacky audio. So we got some
wacky audio.
We got some good wacky audio coming up, among other things. If you miss any of the show, we say shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk, 99.7.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash blocking the right lane. This is going to be over by the airport, actually eastbound 40. Right there at Briley Parkway. Actually, that's not the one blocking the right lane. The one blocking the right lane is going to be 40 eastbound on the South Loop downtown, right there at 65. Israel says Iran has started attacking again. Sirens were blaring in Tel Aviv. Meanwhile, listen as this Iranian state TV newscast is interrupted by an Israeli strike. Yeah, that anchor left the TV screen, and there was some dust and what looked like some smoke, but otherwise it doesn't appear anybody was hurt there. President Trump at the G7 summit in Canada meeting with world leaders was asked about the conflict.
Despite weekend talks getting canceled, President Trump said Monday he believes Iran is open to engagement with the U.S. on a nuclear agreement.
They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war. And they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
The president told ABC Sunday it's possible the U.S. could get involved in Israel's fight against Iran. Asked today what it would take for that to happen, he said,
I don't want to talk about that.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
An unsealed federal affidavit has revealed more details about Vance Belter, now in custody and facing federal and state charges with shooting 2 Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses, killing one of those couples. Acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota, Joseph Thompson, outlines 2 other homes Belter allegedly traveled to, but one of them already had police detail.
The New Hope police officer pulled up next to Belter in his car, rolled down her window, and attempted to speak with him. Belter did not respond. According to the officer, he just sat there and stared straight ahead. So the New Hope police officer, who had been dispatched to the scene, proceeded to the state senator's home, and she waited for other law enforcement to arrive. When they did, by the time they did, Belter had left the scene.
Belter is in federal custody, facing federal and state murder and attempted murder charges that could carry the death penalty or life in prison. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Dry for the most part, but as we go later in this evening and through tonight, that's when rain chances are expected to make another uptick across the area. Some of those heavy-hitting rains could produce some local high water issues, so watch for the potential for flooding. It's real-time weather. Download the WSMV4 First Alert Weather app.
Hey, it is June, so you know what that means. HVAC, how is it looking? How's it feeling? Is it working? How about this? How would you like to have Busy Bee come out, take a look, maybe think, oh, I need a new AC. Well, guess what? You buy a new AC from Busy Bee and you do it this month, you'll have a chance to get a free getaway. You could win a 3-day beach getaway because you buy the unit from them. They're going to take care of everything if you win. That includes gas, 2 meals, lodging, the whole 9 yards. It's incredible what they're doing for us. Now, it's going to be announced on Facebook Live. Only people who purchased this month have a chance to win. And those are the people who are eligible to enter. Only one winner. Restrictions apply. Now, on top of that, they got great specials going on in June. Those air ducts, right? So we're giving away a free package. You buy the middle tier package, they're going to upgrade you to deluxe. You have $500 selected tankless water heaters, upright water heaters, 50% off the whole drain repipe for the house. $99 drain video inspection, which is important. Take care of it. This is something you get ahead of so you don't have to go and redo something and it costs you and they're digging up there. You want no part of any of that stuff. Plus the great from Busy Bee, right? You know, you want to be coming to the Beehive Club? $99 get you 2 years for one. This year and next year, $99. What are you waiting for? Call Busy Bee today. Satisfaction guarantee, 775-7833, 775-7833, or check them out at busybeehvac.com. All right, guys. USS is there. United Structural Systems. Why? Because those little cracks, those little things under the house, the issues you may think you don't have, but you're not quite sure, those things where water's gotten in there, you want to put an end to that before it becomes something bigger, before you have real serious issues, whether it's your basement walls, your foundation walls, any of that stuff, crawl space, because you know what happens, especially it starts to get warmer, right? It starts to get a little rot, the wood rot. Then the next thing, there's mold. You want no part of that. Call USS today. They'll come out there, check everything out for you. They're not going to charge anything, and they're not going to sell you anything that you don't need. That's not what they're about. They're there to help. They simply guarantee the best. 30 years in business, 30,000 happy customers. 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. Or check out everything they do online at ussTN.com. I hope we don't go to war. War's not the answer, man. No, it's not. It's not good for anybody. Well, let me phrase that. It is good for some who profit off wars. It is not good for everybody else. Rich people and people in power profit off wars that poor people fight on their behalf. I mean, that's the reality of it. It's what, it's like gladiators. We send gladiators out to fight. The difference between the gladiators now is our men and women go out there, and at times they're cannon fodder. Are there wars that were worth fighting? Of course there was. But this war potentially with Iran is something I want no part of. It has nothing to do with whether somebody asked me earlier, you must not like the Jews or something. I'm like, I'm part Jewish, but I don't want anything. And I don't buy anything, a lot of what Netanyahu says. The guy had a lot of troubles before October 6th. Go look and see. His coalition of government that he has to build has had some serious issues and was about ready to fall apart. And now all of a sudden, well, they're coming and well, who are they? Well, the Iranians. I don't want them to get a nuclear weapon. Nobody does. But if I'm Iran, do I want a nuclear weapon? Damn Skippy, I want a nuclear weapon. You want to know why? Because nobody's bugging me. Your attitude changes. Like Iran has more natural resources, more modernization than North Korea could ever dream of at this point in time. And I tell you what, you got a nuclear weapon, they're not doing this today. No. Oh, sure, everybody else would be uneasy. Yeah, so what's that mean? Well, that means we're going to have to put even more bases, put more things there to protect people. But the alternative is we're going to go to war, and you got Netanyahu going, oh, it's really about America. What could they do? Well, they could put sleeper cells. It's always a possibility. They are the #1 sponsor of terror. But do I really think they're going to do that? No, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't want them to do that, but I'm not saying they couldn't. But is it the same thing as them lobbing bombs at us? They're not going to get anything that gets close to us here. Could they bomb and Trump's out there and having hopefully Pete Hegseth and several others behind closed doors going, dude, just don't. All right. We want no part of this. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that he doesn't try to kill you, because he kind of made it clear that they weren't out of Netanyahu came twice to America and apparently said, oh, yeah, we should totally try to kill Khomeini.
Was telling us just in the last few minutes since your interview concluded that President Trump did, in fact, in the last couple of days, nix a plan that the Israelis were putting together to assassinate the supreme leader of Iran. So we can put a bow on that as President Trump prepares to come and join us here in Canada. And he is telegraphing the way that he will frame this fight between Israel and Iran once he meets with the other G7 leaders. Part of a long truth social, he says, we will have peace soon between Israel and Iran. Many calls and meetings now taking place. I do a lot, never get credit for anything, but that's okay. The people understand. Make the Middle East great again.
I don't know what peace looks like there. It's always going to be uneasy. Why? Because you have a bunch of people who don't look, not just the Jews and Islam. You have a bunch of people who are part of Islam who are separate in the way that they believe. Right? So you've got several different sects that maybe aren't, totally cool with one another. So you've got all of this right there. So to think that there's going to be no times of unease would be a lie. But we don't need to be dragged into this. And I feel like the person who gets played more often than not is Trump is trying to cover for Bibi's ass. Because I think he goes and he says, oh, they're going to come for you, or they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. And it's you just don't understand stuff. To me, no. And he's talking to Jonathan Carl there. It's like a 30-minute interview about that.
I understand America first, but I don't understand America dead. And that's what Iran wants. They say death to America. So when he is saying that, he is speaking to Donald Trump in a way, saying don't listen to those supporters on your side who are against involvement with Israel on this. Listen to us. You've been Israel's best friend. Continue to support us, because ultimately this is not just a threat to Israel, it's a threat to the United States.
How's it a threat to us? Well, they could do what? What are they going to do to us? Outside of making everything unstable there when it comes to Israel, and then we have to get into something, they're not going to buy. If they say a lot of crap, a lot of people say stuff. Israel doesn't want a war. I mean, the people, I don't think they really want a war with Iran. And I don't think the Iranian people. Now, the powers that be, they may want to duke it out somewhat, but I don't even think Iran wants a war with Israel because they understand what's going to happen. And I've heard from so many people, it'd be an easy walkover. It wouldn't be. They got about 1 million soldiers when you throw in all of the Hezbollahs and the stuff. That's a lot, because now you're defending all over the place. And that doesn't even count the numerous countries around there that feel as uneasy about Iran getting a nuclear weapon, but at the same time don't want to see Iran overthrown. That's the last thing they want to see. Because if that was to happen, it's like anything else. We talk about like all these people out there that are like, well, Russia kind of had the right to do what they did in Ukraine. So if Israel goes and decides we're going to take out the leader, who are they going to replace it with? I never hear any of that. I never hear who the next guy up is, as if the next guy up is some altruistic sitting around going, you know what, I'm going to be best friends with the Jews. We're all going to be hanging out, right? It's short skirts and discos again. It could be 10 times worse. It could create a power vacuum where you get some hardliner who is like, yeah, death to everybody for real. So this is a precarious situation. And I just sit there and go, don't get sucked into it. And I think Bibi wants to suck us into something. Don't do it. Resist as much as you can. If you want to shoot down the missiles, you want to do that kind of stuff, that's a different thing. But if he's like, we need boots on the ground, we're going to go really bomb, we want you involved. Ken, you don't want that.
We do not want boots on the ground over there.
No, because that's going to cost.
Not between these two.
No, God, no. No, and if they want to go do it themselves and all they want is like moral support, you can do it, okay?
I mean, let Israel, let Israel be Israel, and it's like you said, good on them if they were close to getting a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
But we just don't know. And to try to egg us on and have us put our soldiers on the ground, I think most of America would oppose that.
There was and
I don't think Trump wants to do that.
No.
Trump does not like war.
Well, it's bad for business because he's not in that business.
That's why he's trying to make deals. He sees that as a way of bringing peace.
Yeah.
And that's to be commended.
Absolutely.
But it's like what we've talked about, man, this hatred for Israel among all these nations there in the Middle East, man, it's not going to go away by assassinating one guy.
No. In fact, I think it's going to cause more hell. And if there is an overthrow, think about this. If you're one of these other countries that, you've got a working-ish relationship with Israel and us, but you see another Muslim country get essentially conquered by them taking out the lead guy and then trying to replace him with another guy that they like. What do you think if you're those leaders in those other countries? Well, now we got to have our guard up. We can't do business. This is what we're going to. No, that's not what we want. And if he wants to fight them, open up another front. See how that works, by the way. Because then you've got Iran, then you've got Lebanon, and then you have, of course, Yemen. So you've got another front opened up. How is that going to work? And again, Hamas. So
Hezbollah.
There you go. Have at it. And we'll support you. We'll give you some of those weapons to shoot stuff down. We wish you all the best, but not our people. Sorry. These idiots who are out, these neocons, and we're like, yeah, it's awesome. It's great. Let's go. We'll take them on. Who are we? Because you're not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I sure now ain't going to send my kid there for that. Because Bibi Netanyahu wants it. Well, what if they got a nuclear bomb? Then you know what? You wouldn't have attacked them. You would have thought twice. And you know what? They don't want to attack you. Oh, sure, they send their proxies to do stuff, but you're not nuking them for that, as horrible as that is. We didn't nuke Afghanistan after 9/11. I know some of you are like, it'd probably been cheaper. Yeah, probably would have been. Because what we do, we spend and probably save more lives. How many people end up losing their lives? In Afghanistan, in Iraq, in the surrounding other areas. Because why? Because we allowed chaos to ensue as we ran around chasing some sort of wacky idea that we were going to get something. And what ended up happening? Lots of people died. We created a new group of people that hated us even more. And then when all was said and done, trillions of dollars are gone. And we replaced Afghanistan's leader, Taliban, with the Taliban. Solid move. I got some freaking crazy audio.
Let's hear it.
You ready? All right, here we go. Crazy lady.
So I'm in my beautiful city, LA, and I have friends texting me like all morning. My gardener didn't show up. My housekeeper didn't show up. My farmer's market was closed. Everyone's scared. Well, this is not going to just happen in LA. And you 1%ers that only voted for Trump because of money? Guess what? You're going to have to do your own dishes or clean your own house or mow your own lawn. And that wonderful produce, the organic produce you get for your brunches? All gone. Yeah, you're going to actually have to do some work around your house. These people are important.
Yeah, that's right.
Ellie.
There are indentured servants, guys. Will you stop that? These people are important. They do all the crap that us white people won't do. And we need them because we feel sorry for them. Now, Pedro, I worked really hard to make sure that you could continue to pick apples. I would like a fresh apple pie and clean my bathroom. I care about you.
God forbid the farmer's market not open this weekend.
Oh, my God. Such a white person's thing to say. Could you get any whiter than that?
No, you can't.
Now these people aren't going to be able to go to the farmer's market. Where am I going to get my fresh produce? Well, first of all, at the farmer's market, it's mostly a bunch of crackers, right, who own a little farm. It's not some giant farm.
It's not like a big operation out there.
They act like they're out there running around going, Ken and Stacy, they got themselves a great little farmer's market that they're going to every week because they got like 4 trees in the backyard and some garden. They doing that themselves, you nut. Here, this one's my favorite, though. This is a lady. She's very, very, very emotional.
My husband and my son, my 7-year-old son, just walked out the door to go to a No Kings protest. And I'm staying home because my other son does not feel well. And as they were walking out the door, I said, "Thank you for being so brave and going and doing this." And my son looked at me and said, "Will it change things?" And I said, "I hope so, buddy. I hope so."
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Good God. What the hell is wrong with you people? You know what I'm talking about, you people. So insane. Oh, my Lord. We got Matt coming in here a little bit. Dude, I have so much crazy audio we didn't get to today. So tomorrow.
Save it for tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yeah. And White Woman Wednesday, it's going to be extra white. It's like extra large White Woman Wednesday.
It's going to be so white.
So white. It's going to be white as a farmer's market. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, MyPillow has amazing deals right now on towels, beach towels, pool towels, amazing towels. Go to mypillow.com/Benson. Use the promo code Benson. MyPillow beach towels are as low as $24.99. Stylish, super soft, comfy, absorbency is massive, and fade-resistant, durable, plus generous size for the people of size, if you will. Made right here in the U.S. of A. They are amazing. So what are you waiting for? Grab yourself some MyPillow towels. All right, save yourself big. Go to mypillow.com/Benson. Check out the latest beach towel styles and current pricing. Don't forget, use promo code Benson. Check out exclusive savings. It's mypillow.com/Benson. mypillow.com/Benson.
Of the Wellness Institute of Nashville, home of the Big 47 offer, 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression.
Regions Bank, member FDIC.
To every job, whether it's a commercial or a residential build.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. I like your shirt. Very sporty today, sir.
All right, thank you. I got this, though, over the weekend at the one and only Volunteer Outfitters out there in Hendersonville.
Did you volunteer to wear it all the time?
I did. This was their Georgia Red. So nice.
Oh, that's right. You like a little Georgia.
I like a little Bulldog action. Come on.
Dogs.
Do you have a I feel as if we've asked you this question. Do you have a college affiliation?
You know what? I guess growing up in SoCal, I was USC football was kind of my jam.
That's good.
And then they decided, hey, you guys paid, Reggie Bush, so we're going to hit you with essentially the death penalty. And then they were like, hey, Cam Newton's dad sold him to the highest bidder. Well, shame on them.
It wasn't that big a deal.
So, but
didn't they give him back his Heisman though? Haven't they?
I think they had to give him back his Heisman. Yeah, they didn't give OJ back his, but they gave back. It was different.
Yeah, a little bit of a different.
But I think they had to give back his Heisman. That's why he's allowed to be in the Heisman house.
That's right. They took him out of the commercial, the cryo, the stasis. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Who's not? Manziel's not there, is he? He should be there.
Manziel should be there, I would assume. I mean, maybe. What's he doing now? Selling insurance? What's he doing?
No, I think he goes to card places, and I think he probably has a podcast, right?
Johnny Manziel.
That guy. Johnny Football.
Oh, boy. What a, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's great. He was great to watch.
He was. He was
fabulous to watch.
A great college
Very
quarterback.
Exciting.
And
just goes to show you that talent and everything, kids, got to put the work in.
Yeah.
Got to put the work in.
Got to put the work in. And he was funny, though. Like, he was out there he didn't care. He's like, I'm going to go sign cards for $20,000. It's stupid, right? That's stupid.
Yeah. So USC then?
Yeah, I go with USC.
Okay.
So,
it should be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved the SEC because I always thought it was big boy football. And they got into it. Like, SC, people don't really, you go to California, there's a lot of stuff to do in California.
A lot of things going on.
A lot of things going on. It's like they don't take their sports as serious outside of the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
They take the Dodgers and the Lakers serious.
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Oh, say can Jose see?
Did you see that, lady?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just certain things. I don't care. I genuinely don't care about these types of things. I care less than some people do. And I feel like, I think we highlight when we, as a talk radio family or as a media commentary family, highlight some of these things, we're giving more weight to it than it ought to have.
Yeah.
But on this one, I'm like, it's America's national anthem.
Yeah. Well, but that anthem was, I think it was FDR or somebody actually commissioned it.
No, the national anthem became the official national anthem in 1930, 15 years before. I looked it up. It's 15 years before that crap happened.
Well, I know that, but they commissioned it because they wanted to show it. Like I said today, if you want to do it on Mexican Heritage Night, okay, maybe. They told you not to do it, though. That's the other thing. They told you, and then she took to the internet to go, I'm so sorry. People were mean to me. What did you expect?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What did you expect? But then again, I'm moving on. I got a lot of other stuff.
You know what? I mean, Roseanne got it too. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, she got it right.
She
I mean, wrong, but she got it.
Yeah, she gets it. All right, coming up, Matt and his new shirt straight ahead, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.